It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and tonight's clash of conferences is just moments away. It's the Browns and the Bears, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
Soldier Field opened back in 1924 with the Bears becoming tenants in 71, and what a home field advantage it has become here in Chicago. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, you look at our featured team here, and this is going to be a heck of a chess match. This offense against a defense that will take no prisoners out there.
It's going to be a big-time battle, and I think that both of these teams have that mindset of, we're going to do what we do and make the other guys react to us. And we've definitely got a couple of headstrong coordinators who won't back down from a challenge. So this will be a battle of wits as much as it'll be a battle of brawn.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And out will come the leader of this offense, and that, of course, is their signal caller.
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it is permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
They'll run on first down. Peyton. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Back to throw. McMahon. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at 3rd down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, McMahon. Throwing middle, and it's complete. Call it a pickup of 3, and also now likely a punt on their opening drive.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Browns under head coach Kevin Stefanski. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field, and that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson.
And he's exactly the man you want in control of your offense. Excellent arm, good zip on the ball, not afraid to use his legs when he needs to. And what he's excelled at doing is making plays when the first read isn't available or when the pressure's about to get to him.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. Escaping the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. 5 yards, and that means they come up short as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 1st and 10, McMahon. He's going to go for a big play downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. On the give, here comes Peyton. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
From the gun on 3rd down, McMahon taking a shot here for Marshall. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. They'll score that a 36-yard punt.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
2nd drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, let's see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. And it may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. On first down, it's Watson. Being chased out left. And Watson has enough for the first down yardage as he slides to the turf.
Here we go.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
First down, Brown. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
2nd and 8. Here's Watson. He sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. This to equal Matt Prater's record. It's a 64-yard attempt. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Chicago offense set to get started. They've shown very little offensively to this point. Well, neither team has really. They come up here now, 1st down. Throwing to start the drive. McMahon looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Marshall. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Looking to throw. McMahon. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender from there. He doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
Now the try here for the point after. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing after the interception, McMahon. He finds McKinnon, complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. On the run, it's Peyton, and he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
60 Bison, 60 Bison.
On 3rd down, here's Peyton. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
On your own side of the field.
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. 36 yards on the punt with no return. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They'll run on 1st down. It's Brown. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Watson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
On first down, Peyton. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, both teams practice this situation, and this time the guys on offense won, and in a very nice way. What a run from that position on their own goal line.
Gave him some good breathing room.
I wonder now, do you still stack the line of scrimmage, or do you play normal defense? They may have backed him off with that run.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On first down, McMahon. And he's going to be brought down back at his own 6-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. From the gun, McMahon. And he's got his man in stride, complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Back to throw. McMahon. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. The number 1 pick, Myles Garrett, coming in to drop him.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
With the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns.
They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. Shotgun handoff to Brown here. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Watson now to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be caught? No, they say it's incomplete.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Back to throw, Watson. He's going to let this go for the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That's at least a couple of times that they've tried to stretch the field here in this 1st quarter. They haven't been successful yet, but obviously they're going to keep trying, and maybe they'll find some seams underneath as this game progresses.
And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So 2 first-quarter field goal attempts for him, and he's converted on both.
I like the positive right there. 2 for 2. Got the points on the board. The negative side is they didn't score touchdowns. And, of course, going forward in this game, that's going to be the aim. And hopefully he'll be kicking extra points instead.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They find themselves in a good-size hole here, and a good-size hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports. Back in Chicago, ready for the 2nd quarter. It's the Bears in possession as they've got a 2nd and 8 forthcoming. Looking to throw. McMahon. Flush to his right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. Off the play fake. McMahon. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far, offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
We often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. They'll run on 1st down. It's Brown, and the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
When you think about the strong safety position, they're the more bulkier guys in the free safety, but that time, great athleticism to hustle in and break up that play.
And as a running back, you've got to be saying, where did he come from? He covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, and he was able to stop his man before he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And the next-gen stats tell the story as he was traveling at better than 19 miles an hour.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Matt Nagy wants the officials to take another look at that one. He'll throw out the challenge flag. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
We got this.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Brown. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A good run got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. Now it's Watson. A bootleg. Now he's forced out right. And Watson has enough for the 1st down yardage as he slides to the turf.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a 1st down.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. From the gun, here's Watson. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They give it to Brown. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on 1st down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
The Browns on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. To throw is Watson. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead him to 4th down.
He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage. Well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt, and the Bears take over. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And what would you say? Is it the offensive line that has caused a lot of this pressure to get back there?
That's always the first place that you have to look to see what's going on, but part of it is so difficult to simulate this type of pass rush in practice because the speed, the ferocity, the quickness, some of the change-ups and how they get at the quarterback that you may not have seen on film, all of that is different. You can practice it as much as you want to. You can even insert smaller, faster guys at positions to show that the speed's going to be quicker, but until the whistle blows and you play for real, it's just not the same.
And not as easy to implement on game day. Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now a give, it's Peyton. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
The Bears on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Back to throw. McMahon. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Browns set to take over. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and give these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. On 1st down, Brown. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
On 2nd down and 4, Watson. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that is incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Watson. He's going to take another shot here. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A big play that time for Cleveland.
Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there.
And this is more of the same right here. These guys have definitely been the aggressors here in the first half. They've pushed the envelope in terms of play calls, and that's reflected in the score. And now they're in a position to widen this lead.
And that one covering an even 63 yards in the air.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Here's a give to Brown. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And down to the 7-yard line. 51 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try the left side. Brown. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Now he's flushed out right. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And a short kick taken at about the 16. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Let's go!
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They're in a bit of a bind, a pretty big bind, down 20-0 as they start here on 1st and 10.
All over you. Hey, man, I guess we're looking at the wrong side right here. It's over. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, none of that. 56 is the money. 56 the money.
Throwing to start the drive. McMahon. He'll drop this one off to Sayers. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Let's go. Let's go.
When you struggle on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. They'll run now with Peyton. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
56 is Mike. 56 is Mike.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
The Bears on 3rd down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And the punter's on the sideline. Here's the field goal unit now to try an exceptionally long one. And, folks, this is a 67-yard attempt. And Gold is able to put it through, and that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark. And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it. Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. They'll run on first down. Brown. Room here to run. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 86 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease. You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds, to continue to move people. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They go right back to the ground here, and Brown. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that. They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle him up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to sift through. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now a give, left side, Brown with it. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
I'm going back to you.
remind you, in just a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Orlando, and our good friend Jonathan Coachman. Coach will run through some of the numbers and the next-gen stats from this first half of football so far.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even third down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Going to throw right side here, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack. Watson. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down in bounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really, by the way?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Tight defense there on 3rd down, but what a product of good coaching and even better execution because he realized he's in field goal range. No sense forcing anything, and he made sure he didn't.
So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that will push this lead up to 20 now. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Fields this way up at the 17. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Let's go! That's it, baby. That's it right there.
Now the Bears going to take over now late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive.
Throwing on 1st down. McMahon.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Look, good hands there defensively. It's 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Hey, man, I guess we're looking at the wrong side right here. You ain't going to burn me.
Ready? 60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
on 1st and 10. McMahon. He'll drop this off to Peyton. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it'll bring up a 2nd down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit. But get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are. You know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And this will be called officially a 66-yard attempt. The kick by Gold is good. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So time perhaps for one final kneel down before they take this lead to the locker room. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Browns. And a big part of their success on the scoreboard is their success in the running game. Over 100 yards as a team in those first 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Bears, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
They defer to Brown to start the drive. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Watson off play action. Eluding and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. They'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And this is going to be incomplete. So no problems moving the ball in the first half, but they'll likely come up empty here on drive one of quarter three.
And it was so important for the defense to get that stop because what we witnessed in the first half was them getting run over. And they needed the confidence, and they needed to get off the field so they felt good going forward in this game.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. Looking up into the lights, and he muffs it. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble. Well, that was pretty obvious. He didn't let him catch it.
Agreed, and what's hard is you make that long run downfield to try and cover it, but you got to locate the football as well.
A lack of discipline defensively on fourth down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, McMahon. Pass incomplete.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into a bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, McMahon. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1.
Beautiful throw right there on 3rd down, and it looked like this was going to be 6 points. But a nice touchdown-saving tackle at the end of this. Even still, this offense is knocking on the door now with a 1st and goal at the 1.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Peyton. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Bears use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
Gold with the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. On first down, it's Brown. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Working with a 2nd and 3. They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
They'll run on 3rd down with Brown. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A run here with Brown. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
2nd and 4. Running right, here's Brown. And he's got some space here. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 137 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
They'll run on first down. Brown. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll try the air now with Watson. Forced out to his left. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. A shotgun snap for Watson. Going for the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, when you've got a tight end who can run, you've got to give him a shot to unlock the defense. Want to see what they can get, taking the big shot downfield. That one winds up incomplete.
So out comes the field goal team once more. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points, a response there to that opening touchdown of this third quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also in letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the second half and take over.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fields this way up at the 17. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
On first down, McMahon. He's got a man. That's Marshall. 7 yards the pick up there.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
Throwing on first down. McMahon. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he goes out of bounds, it looks like right at the 50.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Only needing 2 yards on second down. Running it here with Peyton. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
They run again with Peyton. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Looking to throw. McMahon. Looking for Marshall, but it's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
Now Deshaun Watson and his offense heading back out there. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the third quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with a recipe of the ground game.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Coming up on a 2nd and 6. Right back to Brown.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Now Watson.
It's complete to Brown, right side.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On first down, Brown. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Now it's Watson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And did he get the feet down? No. They'll say he did not. It's incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. And with a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Watson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I usually hesitate when I say a guy's got world-class speed, but this guy might. So let's fire the starter's pistol. Let's go. If you've got him, you've got to try and use him. A lot of anticipation with the ball in the air, but no, incomplete.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away.
Let's go.
The Chicago offense set to get started.
And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
They'll run on first down. Peyton. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 57 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
On 1st and 10, McMahon. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
2nd down at 4.
Looking to throw. McMahon. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Operating from the gun, McMahon. Flushed out right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
2nd and 7.
From the gun, McMahon. For Marshall, that's complete. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. A big play that time on the catch and run.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Back to throw. McMahon. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. And the sack leads to roughly a loss of 6, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. On the give, here comes Peyton. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Third and goal, and keep in mind, very possibly 4-down territory.
Looking to throw. McMahon. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. And Gold is able to put it through, and that gets him back within 10. So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
Now it's Gold after splitting the uprights to kick this one away.
And a short kick taken at about the 16. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Cleveland offense making their way out.
Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
On first down, it's Brown, and he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the fourth quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Another run for Brown on 2nd down.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
Now Watson on 3rd down. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. It's like a 9-yard loss. And it also brings up 4.
He seemed to have a reasonable amount of time in the pocket, but he couldn't get rid of the football, and the end result, Charles, him on the ground.
Yeah, he's got to keep an internal clock to go along with his offensive line. When you're talking about 3, 4, 5 seconds, that's a reasonable amount of time to expect to deliver the ball downfield. So great to try and complete a pass, but it's equally important to know when to throw the football away, too.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. On the return, Hester. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
The Bears now ready to take over again. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
On first down, McMahon. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On the run, it's Peyton. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
To throw on 2nd down, McMahon. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary here. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on to kick it away. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or two.
Let's go.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. On the handoff, this is Brown, and he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now he'll escape to his right. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
Well, to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know. I kind of admire him not sliding down there, don't you?
I'm with you on that one. The meter definitely leans towards admiration.
Now a first down throw, Watson. Complete to Newsom. A gain of 6 there on first.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
To throw again on second down. Watson. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. Back to throw. Watson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. It'll go as a loss of 8 and a tough result there on 1st and goal.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Handing it off to Brown. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Watson. And that is incomplete.
Great defense there on 3rd and goal. They took away everything, forced him to fire that one to the sideline where no one could get it.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And
his kick here is good. And that will stretch the lead up to 13.
So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the fourth.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And as we peer at the numbers, he got off to a struggling start, but since then really found his rhythm.
And I think that comes together with not just the halftime adjustments, but just that quiet confidence. If you just keep doing the things you've been working on, eventually there will be creases. You know, find those gaps in the defense, keep working on them, and maybe what didn't happen very well for you in the beginning of the game, it starts to open up as the game moves on.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. On the give, this is Sayers. Trucks over him. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Operating from the gun, McMahon. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for a Browns TD. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
So now on comes the Browns offense as they'll try for 2 more. Following the fumble recovery, Watson. And he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it, so a sack on the 2-point try. They had the big play on the fumble return. They were looking for the 1-2 punch, but they couldn't get that 2-point conversion.
And I have to wonder, were they scheduled to go ahead and kick the extra point, but after a play like that, you talk about the 1-2 punch, right? It's a momentum play. Go for 2 and really try to capitalize, and that's what they attempted.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them. The coaches from all the way up here, they were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Throwing on first down. McMahon, and that's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
2nd and 10.
Back to throw. McMahon. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted just twice and have had plenty of opportunities. This will be 3rd and 5. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to bring up the 4th down.
To me, this is a case of if you're not getting the ball, you've got to do your job and block for the guy who is, because there really wasn't much there. And, boy, the defense took advantage with that loss.
And the defense, they were just locked in there on 3rd. They had more guys than they could block. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. He's going to float this one deep right side.
And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Brown, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down.
And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. From the left hash, this from 39. And his kick is indeed good. And that will extend their lead now up to 22. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points. But this widens it out, as you said. And now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. On 1st and 10, McMahon, and they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for them, and after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again, McMahon.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them, because just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
On 3rd down, McMahon. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They'll probably spend a little extra time dissecting the game film after this one. I think the part of their plan was to hit them over the top of the deep ball. They've been unsuccessful all night.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there, it's going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Again, he'll drop to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the sizzle. He just had no steak.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, plays like that, you at least expect a 1st down. They're just 1 yard. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds showing on the clock. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. McMahon. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end. Complete.
Get ready.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays.
And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch, because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the officials and the folks in New York got a second look at this one, and the call is going to be overturned.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to let it fly. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position.
The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And really, it looked at times like they just had this one in cruise control out there.
Yeah, they deserve a ton of credit because you and I both know, heck, they knew. This is a tough place to play. Overcame that with ease, romped home with an easy win. And here's the best part for them. It'll be easy to get to the airport because the crowd left pretty early in this one, didn't they?
Well, plus they have a police escort.
Okay, you had to spoil that part of it. Of course, they're going to get there. But think about how wide open things are now because this crowd didn't expect this.
No.
So they went back to the tailgate and said, let's go eat. This one isn't any fun for us.
Yeah, they took the drama out of this one pretty early on.